All right, there. How we doing, people? Welcome back to the Nightmare Cabin. And tonight, I am talking about a band that I've wanted to talk to since this channel began. This is one of my favourite death metal bands, and they're all my favourite, really. I mean, I spend a lot of time making these videos. They take ages, and yeah. So I wouldn't talk about a band I didn't like, but you get what I mean. But these are generally one of my favourite bands, and tonight we are talking about. Well, you've seen the thumbnail, you've seen the little description, but here it is. This is Oppressor, and it not that many people seem to know about him, or certainly not as many as people should. I only really discovered them myself a few years ago. When was it? Yeah, about 4 or 5 years ago now. But yeah, they've jumped straight to the top, and well, we'll get into it. But you've got mainly 3 albums, a live EP, a couple of demos and whatnot. I've got quite a bit to show off though, and I guess I'll start with what they're like. Really, it's obviously death metal, as a surprise, something different. And but the best thing about Oppressor, they weren't the most original of bands, but they executed it perfectly. What they tried to do, they did without fault. And yeah, you could point to a couple of different bands as, you know, a little bit of them and a little bit of them, but they just executed it perfectly, really. And these 3 albums I listened to more than most of the favourite bands that I have today. You know, the bands that sort of set the standard, and they're the obvious influences. So obviously your Morbid Angels, your Deaths, and all the rest of it. And this sort of perfect little catalogue, I probably listen to more than... I'm more likely to listen to these now than either of those 2 bands. So maybe that's because I've made myself sick of those 2 bands, but because I know it all off by heart. But anyway, we'll get into it. So think the sort of the real thick, groovy, but sort of otherworldly, mesmerising riffs of Morbid Angel. You know, the way they make the riffs bend, and but then take the sort of technicality. Think individual fault patterns era of Death. So take those thick, nasty, evil sounding riffs that, you know, they're just like the way they just embed themselves into your brain. The way Morbid Angel does that, with the little Morbid Angel interludes and the little details and little things that they throw in, all speckled in as well. But then just take that technical side of Death in that era. Yeah, not quite symbolic. So think more human, but with individual fault patterns. It kind of condensed everything and made it. It was always technical, but quite catchy as well at the same time. And that's the thing with these guys; they're very catchy and very. The songs are very memorable, and they embed themselves in your memory straight away. And the songs are nice and short as well. So, although the songs get technical, it never really goes over the top and widdly for the sake of it. It never felt like they were showing off. It's technical enough to keep the song interesting. And there's just enough groove, just enough. The riffs are just short enough. The songs are short enough. Everything just moves along nicely. The songs do what they need to do, and then they move on to the next bit. Does what it needs to do, moves on to the next bit. And so none of it's off-putting. None of it's show off for the sake of it. And yeah, everything's just compressed and condensed, and everything just needs to be where it is, and then that's it. They just do not mess about, this band at all. So, also, for those that don't know, 3 of the 4 members of this band went on to do Soil. You know, the band's with the big hit in the late 90s, early 2000s. My Little Halo. Remember that one? I don't know. They're still going now. So, yeah, apparently that first album started off as a side project. And it just exploded, and they carried on doing that. So, you know. Yeah, the guy's a full time doing that now. Although Tim King, who's the bassist and vocalist of this band, and I think he plays bass in Soil. I didn't know if he switched to guitar or not, but he's definitely in Soil now. But he's just recently announced that he's returning to death metal. He's doing vocals in a new project. That I'm really up for, and I'll have to put the feelers out and see if I could get an interview with him. And I'll probably do, like I did with Onslaught, I did my own Let's Talk About video, and then I managed to get an interview with Nige Rocket and just went through the whole catalogue again. Maybe I could do that with Tim, if he's up for that. That'd be cool. I've interviewed Tim, actually. I did an interview with Soil for the, it was one of the first interviews we did under the rock show with Gully and Joe. And I think he was ready to punch my lights out by the end of it. But when I get an interview with him, I'll tell the story in that interview. Then I think I might open with it. I'll go, the first time we spoke, you wanted to knock me right out, and it's quite a funny story. I didn't blame him at all, so that's fine. Anyway, we'll move on. So yeah, opening up, we've got the World Abomination demo, which I haven't got, and I've never heard. I've looked for it on YouTube. It might be there now, but it was never there when I could find it. And it just passed me by. So we'll be starting this today with 1993's demo, As Blood Flows. I managed to get a cassette of it. This has recently been reissued on cassette as well, and I wish someone would... There's nothing really to look at on that. I'd like someone to put this out on CD. I think that would be really cool. On a digipack. Picture of the band there. And lyrics. There's 7 songs and an intro on this. Is that true? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, seven songs and 2 intros. So each side opens up with a little interlude. And 6 of these 7 songs were re-recorded for the debut album, Solstice of Oppression. We'll talk about that in a second, though. Yeah, the songs are re-recorded for that album, only slightly, let's say tweaked, and not rearranged. But yeah, the songs are tweaked. They've just, obviously been played a bit more and messed about with, as songs do when they go from demo to album. But yeah, worth getting. Obviously, not. You don't need to start with it. So yeah. But it's worth listening. Basically the same songs that are on the album, but a bit more raw, a bit more chunky, a bit more vicious sounding as well, in all fairness. They're a bit sleeker on the album, but we'll get into that then. So, yeah, opening up with the debut album, Solstice of Oppression. I've got a vinyl edition here as well. This is on a reissue, fantastic reissue by Repulsive Echo Records. Limited edition, only 250. And I've got number 91. We'll undo that at the end. Otherwise, it gets a bit much. But I don't know who what edition is this? This is Disembodied Records. I'm guessing this is a reissue as well. Let's get that close up of the artwork there. So you got like I'm guessing this is based on The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing. Not much really to look at on the inside, just lyrics. But yeah, this album is a masterpiece. This is probably probably one of my favourite albums. I don't know if it'll be at the top of it, but definitely in the top 10. Again, not the most original of albums, but in terms of execution, it's just perfect. There's nothing more you want from a death metal album. It's got a little bit of everything. It's got, again, short, sharp, to the point songs, nice technical passages to just to shake things up and throw things at you and give you a surprise, but riffs that are fast, brutal, grooves that just it demand that you bend, you nod your head and move along to. There's nice little piano and keyboard interludes speckled throughout, or even in the songs. Clean parts, but it all just concise and jam-packed in, and just moves the album along. It's a completely effortless listen. Opening up with the track Seasons, just that it's got that, and then they just strum over the top of this double kick pedal beat. It's fucking awesome when it kicks in. Yeah, so it's like a strumming before it kicks in. It's not. It's you've got this nice little melodic interlude in it, and then but then the riffs just kick in straight later on. It's just fantastic. And I'm singing. I can sing you all sorts of parts, but it just won't make sense. But the song just moves along wonderfully. It's just got so many different cool sections, and yeah, it's just again, it's a bit of technical. It's even progressive, but it's not off-putting. It's not up its own arse at all. It just gets straight on with it. You got a nice little piano intro into the second song, Eclipse into Eternity. You've got a lot in Seasons as well. There's this nice little melodic interlude. That's the bit, and it's got this nice groovy part. It's nice and heavy, and then just stops, and then just goes into this like this clean guitar part, which I guess there's a bit deaf. I did say that the deaf influence I think is definitely there, and the again individual thought patterns is probably the best. Think of that period, and you're kind of there. But again, technical and catchy riffs on the second track, leading into a nice, thick, morbid angel groove. Devour the Soul is a sort of straightforward, old school death metal track. Genocide is nice and thrashy. I love the riff at the end of Rotted Paradise. The ending riff on that is fucking fantastic. The riff it goes into at the end. And Dying Inside is a great way to finish the album. It's got a real climatic solo at the end of the track as well. Fucking, that's a badass band photo there. Yeah, it's just awesome. It's everything I want from a death metal album. It's just got everything you need. It's all your favourite bands perfectly combined in 40 minutes without any of the fluff. There's not an ounce of fat on this album. The awesome artwork. And like I say, yeah, 1994 this came out. So what, that would have been The Bleeding by Cannibal Corpse, Critopsy put the first album out at that point. I mean, Testament were on the down, like low came out at that point. You know, metal, you could say. So yeah, metal was well and truly formed at this point. But again, they did it. Something just fell down now. Fucking scared the shit out of me. Sorry about that. Yeah. If you've not heard this album and you're into death metal and you're into any of the bands I just mentioned, do yourself a favour and pick this up because it's absolutely fantastic. Then we have a bit of a stopgap release. This is European Oppression live. Fucking what a cool photo. Live crowd now. And right, so this is basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 live tracks recorded in Switzerland, Germany and Holland. Then you've got 6 and 7's recorded at the Noise Chamber in Rockford, Illinois. Okay. Right, and then you've got Looks That Kill, the Motley Crue cover, and you've got Human Sacrifice, a 95 version it's got here. And then you've got from, track 8 onwards is the As Blood Flows demo. So, yeah, don't go, if you can get hold of that, get it if you like cassettes. But, yeah, get hold of that and you've got everything you need. So, yeah, really cool live recordings. I think these songs sort of make a bit more sense when they're heard live as well. Bit of a collage there of they're toured with Malevolent Creation. Oh, fucking hell, this would have been a good gig. Malevolent Creation, Vader, Solstice, and Oppressor opening. How good would that have been? Anything else good here? Summer Underground Festival, Cradle of Filth, Malevolent Creation, Vader, Oppressor, and Ancient Rites. This band did some touring as well, and you can see like the bands they played with. Like we'll come to it later, but yeah, there's a thing where Nile are playing under them. So these must have been pretty shit hot at the time. Has he got the? Oh yeah, you got the artwork for As Blood Flows on the inside there. Yeah, obviously a great completion piece for the collection. I'm really glad I've got it. Not exactly essential, but definitely get it if you can get it. Yeah, get the albums first. But yeah, really cool live recordings. Season sounds awesome on there. And yeah, it's worth getting the demo on a CD. Next up, we've got the second album, Agony, with quite possibly one of the worst album covers ever. I'm going to be doing a video, actually, of albums with shit covers, but are all awesome albums with shit album covers. And yeah, that looks like something out of Doom. If you can't tell, that is torso from the waist up, kind of half ripped apart, half skeleton, chained up in some torturous device. And yeah, that must have looked old immediately. If they ever reissue this, and can't say too much, but I know something you don't know, they should redo the picture. Like, the idea is cool, but yeah, do it with some modern graphics. Do it with yeah, a modern graphics designer should remake that, I think, with the old school logo, because that looks shit. But apart from the shit album cover, it's fucking awesome. Right, let's get into it. Cool band photo there. Individual members. Right, now this one, this is right. The technical melodic, well, yeah, the melody's still in there, but the little like keyboardy, synthy, piano-y interludes is gone. They get straight down to business with this album, but and yeah, there is times where it is just like, this is just Morbid Angel worship. This is pretty much ripping off Morbid Angel on this album. But with that being said, it's a fucking awesome album. Yeah, I'm not really sure what really to say without, like, I'm just rambling on. All I can say is this one's a bit more straight to the point than the first album. I mean, the first album's 41 minutes. This is only 37 minutes, so it's condensed even more. And there wasn't really much messing about in the first one. And there is a lot of stuff where I do smile along to this sometimes. But, oh my god, this is just Morbid Angel. Yeah, the guys were definitely listening to a lot of Morbid Angel at the time. What was that, 96? When would that? David Vincent would have still been in the band. I think this would have been after Dominion, but just before Fate, Forming His Foot to the Flesh. When did that album come out? But with that being said, again, you don't listen to Oppressor for originality. The execution is just, it's fantastic. And as much as I said this is a bit of a Morbid Angel thing, songs like Agony, sorry, not Agony, Sea of Tears, In Exile, and Valley of Thorns, and Redefine, actually, like, songs like that just speak for themselves. They're such good songs and such perfect. They're so just perfectly crafted that the fact that they remind you of another band doesn't really matter. It's still awesome. I do really like this album, but it's probably my least favourite of the three. But my good friend Costas from Repulsive Echo Records, this is his favourite. So, swings and roundabouts. But personally, my money's on the first album and the next one coming up. But yeah, it's a solid addition to the trilogy. Let's put it like that. And then, oh, right, no, one more. Before the next album, they put out this single, this 7-inch single. Just a plain black. Bear with me 1 second, folks. Right, here we go. Is there anything in here worth cool looking at? No. Yeah, it's a cool album cover, cool old school logo. I really like this artwork, actually. And then, right, you got Valley of Thorns and I Am Darkness. This is a limited edition of 500 copies. I've got number 446. I was just looking at Valley of Thorns. That's not on. That was on the second album, wasn't it? Yeah, that was on. Yeah, so you got 2 tracks off Agony, really. So this was just a single at the time. You can see the handwritten there. Yeah, number 426 of 500. Just put this back. And then next up we have got the last album, Elements of Corrosion. Slightly better album cover. I feel this could still do with a bit of a modern once over, but I do think that's a really cool logo. It's part of their logo on other releases. Make a cool t-shirt, but yeah, a bit of a spruce up and a modern, lick of paint would make that look a bit more jagged, a bit more cool, Band photo there, and have we got anything in this? No, not really. Just lyrics and that. Right, this one again, much more straightforward. This one still has quite a bit of melody in it, some really cool riffs. This one goes all out on the technicality, but again, never goes over the top. It's never off-putting. It's all done very tastefully. When was this? How long was this album? Last one was 37 minutes. This one is 32 minutes. So we're 40 minutes, 37 minutes, 32 minutes. And again, straight to the point, this album. Much more technical. They really... The sort of technical bits were always there, but this one, they sort of focus on that element of the sound. You will realise as well, track number 4, I Despise, is the theme tune to Trez's channel, Total Metal Rejection. There's no way you watch me but don't watch Total Metal Rejection. He's one of the best metal YouTube channels on YouTube, and I've had the honour of having Trey on the show where we did a Let's Talk About together, and we went through the whole back catalogue of Deeds of Flesh. If you've not watched that, I really encourage you to go watch that. And yeah, Trey, you're a legend as always, brother, and you're welcome back on anytime. In fact, let's arrange something. If you are watching this, pick another band and we'll do that again. I've not seen him do a video in a while, actually, so I hope he's doing all right. But yeah, if you haven't, which again, I can't see how you would watch me and not watch Total Metal Rejection, but definitely check out that channel. And I Despise is the opening tune to all of his videos. So when you listen to this album and track 4 kicks in and you go, hold on a minute, I've heard that. Where do I know that? That's where you've heard it. But yeah, it's hard to pick out because all the songs on this are awesome. This one and the first album are sort of neck and neck for me. But all perfectly paced. It's technical. It's brutal. There's hooks when it's needed. There's cool little pauses and little tail riffs. Like there'll be a stop and a little, just a little touch here and there, just to jazz things up. There's little tiny melodic parts, just to give the album a little bit of breathing space, so it's not all just full on in your face. There's just little moments to just split things up. This camera's pissing me off, getting out of focus. There's just not an ounce of fat on it. I mean, the longest song on this is 4 minutes and 3 seconds, so you get the idea. One cool thing though, the last track, Lost in Sorrow, is a nice piano outro. So the fact that you had them on the first album, and then you have none on this, and then none till the end of this one, just bookends things nicely. And really cool way to close it. So yeah, you got 3 albums and a live album come EP, odds and sods thingy. But yeah, well worth investing in if you've not heard this band. They are absolutely fantastic. One of the most underrated death metal bands. 3 faultless albums, really. And then there's this. There's the Solstice of Agony and Corrosion. See what they did there. Mixture of all 3 album titles. This is like a best of compilation. Basically the first album. There's 2 CDs. You've got a the first CD is basically a best of. So it's the selection of tracks from all three of those albums, remastered by James Murphy. You should know who he is. Just in case you need your Death, Testament, produced pretty much every album you've got in your collection. You know, James Murphy. Yes, you got a best of on the first track, first CD, God's sake. And then the second CD, and this is the main reason I got this, was DVD with live footage, interviews, and all that good stuff. So that's serves really as a. I'll keep showing you that. I'm trying to show you the album cover. So not only is this a perfect introduction to the band, and it's quite easy to get hold of. These might be harder to get hold of now, but this I picked up off Amazon for $5. That was a few years ago though, so maybe this is a bit harder to get hold of. But not only have you got the Looks That Kill cover on this, you've got a cover of Over the Mountain by Ozzy Osbourne. That's worth getting. What else? I'm seeing if there's anything. Yeah, so the what was I getting at? This is the perfect little introduction, but it's also a nice completion piece because of the DVD. So it kind of serves as all three, really. It's a nice introduction. It's a nice completion piece, but it's also a one-stop shop. I mean, if you can't get hold of the other albums, but you can only get hold of this, then all right, not the end of the world. You can. There's pretty much everything that's essential is on this, I think. And the DVD's pretty good as well. Pretty sort of amateurly filmed, but it's worth getting. It's cool seeing them. I've got another collage in the middle there. Let's have a look at the posters. Oh, we've got Cannibal Corpse touring. Yep. So Gore Guts were headlining. Then it's Oppressor, and then Cryptopsy and Nile opening. Nile fucking opened for these, you know. Well, it opened for Cryptopsy, but you know what I mean. Who else? Cannibal Corpse, Brutal Truth, Immolation, Oppressor. That would have been a good show. Who else? We looked at that one, didn't we? Yeah, it's pretty much it. I think it's the same. There's different flyers, but the lineup's the same. But yeah, and then the band's sort of split or went on to do Soil and ended up getting really successful doing that. But yeah, like I say, nice and cheap. If you like it, if you go everything, that's worth getting for the DVD alone. And yeah, you've got a nice little best of. So yeah, like I say, everything you want. Nice introduction to the band, nice companion piece, or a one-stop shop. Everything you need in there. Yeah, so just to recap, the debut album and the last album are pretty much neck and neck for me. They're very different albums. This one's got a bit more brutality, a bit more straight to the point, whilst this one's a bit more technical, a bit more melodic, a bit more spacey and weird and varied. But this is a masterpiece to me, and that pretty much is as well. This isn't. It's still a really good album. It's definitely nothing wrong with it. If this is like an 8 or a 9 out of 10, then this is probably about a 7 or 8 out of 10. But it's only slightly less. It's just the Morbid Angel thing, kind of. It just really reminds me of Morbid Angel. But there's great songs on it, and yeah, this is really cool to have as well. So that's pretty much everything by Oppressor. And then obviously, yeah, if you can track down. That's worth picking up, I suppose, if you like cassettes. I showed you the single as well. And then grand finale for you vinyl junkies out there. Let's have a look. This was really done well. I've got to be said. Everything by Repulsive Echo is awesome. Costas, the owner of the record label, he really has an eye for detail. I've done liner notes for him twice, and yeah, he does not miss a beat. He will go, do it again. That fantastic artwork on the CD there. Obviously not done a lot of justice, but this looks like a canvas painting. There's so much detail. It feels really nice as well. Beautifully printed. That awesome photo of the band there. yeah, it just looks 10 times better, doesn't it? Oh, look at that. And then that, what have we got in here? We've got my bloody phone going off in the background. We've got a poster. Like I said, there was only 250 of these made. Lyric sheet. Oh, it looks like this. No, it doesn't. Yeah, lyrics. I would love to have done liner notes for this, but this was done quite a few years ago. And then we've got like a blood marbly red vinyl. You got the artwork, the face there. This looks awesome. Let's see if I can get this. It's like a marbly blood red. You see the swirls, like the black swirls in it. Looks absolutely fantastic. And I'll give you one final look at that cool face there. And then I'm going to spend ages putting this all back together. And yeah, and that was it. Oppressor. Fantastic death metal band. I would fucking love it if this band reformed and did a tour and another album. Fuck it. But yeah, 3 fantastic albums. Definitely worth your time. Worth checking out. And yeah, hopefully when Tim King's new project comes out, I'll work my magic and try and get him on the channel. That'd be awesome. And yeah, if you can get hold of any of this stuff, definitely do. And definitely go on YouTube and check it out. So, as always, if you've made it to the end, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for always supporting the channel. If you're new to the channel and this is your first video, welcome aboard. Feel free to go back and watch some of the older videos, the Let's Talk About, or if you're into Iron Maiden, I've got a Maiden cast that comes out every Friday. There's obviously the Let's Talk About series as well, where I do a similar thing where I take a band and just go through their entire catalogue, which I'm working on slowly but surely. All I've got to do now is decide what band I want to do next. And I'll leave that over to you as well. What is there a band that you want me to do the entire catalogue? I'm probably going to do something a bit more. I've done a lot of death metal lately. I might do some thrash, or I might do something a bit more maybe classic rock or something like that. Maybe it's a bit of Sabbath or some Thin Lizzy or something like that. But yeah, I'll decide that and get on with it then. If you have any suggestions though, please leave a comment and let me know what you want me to do. And if it's something I've got, then yeah, I'll definitely jump on it. Yeah, till then, take care of yourselves. Stay safe, stay strong, stay sane. Don't let the bastards grind you down. Lift weights, eat eggs, drink rum, smoke cigars, read the classics, but above all, listen to metal. See you later.